Cool guys, hope everyone's having a lovely evening this evening and everyone's had a nice weekend. What I want to do today is I just wanted to go over a couple of things that I know a few of you were asking me this week, talking about how they can kind of keep improving and keep progressing and why maybe you're hitting certain plateaus, and there's a lot of reasons for plateauing, and I'll try and explain that a little bit right now. So whenever we start some kind of program, especially Lean 60, it's a 9-week program. In 9 weeks you can have incredible results, or you can have average results or pretty good results. So depending how hard you work within that on both your diet and your exercise, will depend really how much you're going to improve over that 60 days. So what I've got here is a little chart that I sometimes use to explain this to people. And what you'll see is it's got intensity and duration and time. So what we've got is we've got a kind of chart, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 9 weeks, and then we've got our level of intensity. And what the chart shows is as you increase the intensity, obviously you increase your probability that you will decrease body fat, and then over time how that happens. Okay, so what we're looking to do is just make a few changes. So if your intensity for the first 2 weeks isn't really that high, you'll make a few changes, but what will usually happen is you'll see is that you'll gradually keep losing body fat, and you may lose about 4% by the end maybe. If your intensity is a little bit more, you'll start to lose 2, then 4, then 6, then 8, then 10%. Average person in Lean 60 usually lose about 9 to 10% over 60 days. If your intensity is a lot more, so guys, for most of you, those first 2 weeks, you get a real initial, really good decrease in body fat. You start to change your body, you start to increase your muscle mass. Now what may happen over time is doing those things that initially gave you that 2% reduction in body fat may not work up here. So we've got these levels, these are kind of like your ceilings. Maybe here you make a few changes, and then as you come up here, you start to do a bit more exercise. So maybe you're doing 2 or 3 days a week. Obviously on Lean 60, those of you that are exercising more see those changes. Now, if you've gone from 0 to doing 2 days a week, you're going to see change. If you've gone from 0 and you're doing 4 days a week, you're going to see quicker change. Now, if you do 0 to 4 or 5 days a week with dietary change as well, you're going to see that much quicker. So that's where the intensity comes in. If you make a few changes with your diet, but you're not really making too many changes, and you kind of come to a few sessions, you do a bit of activity, but maybe you're eating a little bit more on the weekend, or you're not so careful on what you're consuming, you'll probably still lose a bit of weight. We're working you pretty hard on Lean 60, but it'll be more gradual, very slow. So eventually you'll get to that 2% reduction. And what you may find is that you plateau. For some of you, maybe plateauing later on here when you've decreased 6%. Maybe some of you are week 5, 6, or maybe you've done it a couple of times and you're wondering, why am I plateauing now? I'm doing all this exercise, I'm doing all this stuff. If you've decreased a lot of body fat, what you'll find is that your body is now at level, for some of you that have done Lean 60 a couple of times, your body is now at a level where it's really fit. So you've lost a lot of body fat, you're actually quite fit, you've got a lot of muscle, and actually the current level of exercise and your current diet are the perfect way or to be able to plateau or keep you the same. So we're on a maintenance diet. You're doing exercise that's maintaining your muscle mass, you're doing a diet that's maintaining your body fat percentage, and you're plateauing. You're not really going up or down, you maybe change a little bit week to week, but you're kind of staying in the same area. What you need to do is increase that intensity. So it can be intensity in exercise. Obviously our Lean 60 sessions, they're always usually quite intense, but intensifying it around your extras that you can do. With our Lean 60 program, you obviously have the daily workouts. The reason we have those is to make sure that you have daily consistent action, helping you to push towards your goals, but also those workouts are very intense. It's an intense 30 minutes, which in our opinion, and a lot of the kind of research that we look at, a more intense workout for a shorter duration has a greater effect rather than a lower intense workout over a longer duration. So this is what we're talking about, the steady state cardio, where you're maintaining, say, a walk or a jog, you're maintaining the same heart rate for the entire time. What we want to try and do, as you may know a lot, is we try and get your body and your heart rate going up and down. So at the beginning of the session, we may start with sprints. So we're increasing that intensity, down for a quick time, increase the intensity, down for a quick time, and all the way through the session. Same with weight training. When we add in resistance, push-ups, pull-ups, squats, that level is up with small areas of small time for recovery. Now, the reason we do that is because that's going to give us the greatest afterburn effect, but also the greatest bang for our buck. We want to utilize our time really, really specifically and get the most out of it. So if you're looking at this scale and you're thinking, okay, I've lost quite a lot of body fat, maybe I lost 4 or 6%, how do I gonna lose that next 10% or the next 5%? Maybe you're stuck here and you go, right, how can I get to 6? What you'll need to do is be more intense on the food and the training. So training wise, you can intensify your training by adding resistance. You can intensify it, making it longer duration, or you can intensify it by having less rest or doing a more intense exercise, keeping your heart rate higher. Now, with the food, what you can start to do is you can make more intensity with the quality choices of food and also the variation in which you eat, but also the amount and quantity that you eat. So if you're currently maintaining a body fat percentage, what that means is that you've got all the calories you need for that day. So what you would need to do is maybe decrease those calories a little bit more, but also look at the variety of food. It's not all about calories, but again, it does make a big change. When we start to get down to those lower levels of body fat, it will start to be the quality of food, not just the calories. But if you're still in those kind of, for females, those 40s or 30s, it's mostly the calorie deficit that will help, and especially for the males as well, if you're in those 30s and 20s, it's going to really help just reducing your overall calories. So if you're a person that's looking to go really fast and get incredible results in a short amount of time, you're going to need to make the biggest changes. Extreme changes make extreme results. Same with this, if you make minimal changes, you get minimal results. For most people on Lean 60, they make a couple of good changes, so we get kind of in the middle kind of results. We've had people in the past that have lost 12% body fat over 3 to 4 weeks because they made their workout so intense and they changed their diet in an intense way. They didn't gradually do it. Again, we've also had people that have gone 4 to 5% over Lean 60 that didn't really change their didn't really change their diet at all, and they kind of came to 1 or 2 sessions a week and they weren't doing anything other than that. So they were having maybe 5 sessions a week, 5 days a week where they weren't working out. So just think about that tonight, guys. Think about what you're doing in the next week. Can you get in any extra sessions? Me and Chloe can always write you a plan if you want us to. We can write you a plan for in-gym, at home, whatever it may be, we can do that. So if you need any help with that, let us know. If you want to know how to intensify your dietary program, let us know as well, and we'll give you some specific advice for you. All right, guys, have a good Sunday. Enjoy, guys.